We are live tonight. Riots, basically riots broke out at UC Berkeley, right down the street from me in sunny Southern California, as anti-free speech protesters attempted to break up a Turning Point USA event held on campus. And then after we discuss that, we're going to discuss, Donald Trump doubles down on the $2,000 tariff dividend checks, basically thumbing his nose at many critics who reverted back to the tired old message, he won't do it, he won't ever do it. Though these people said the same thing about the stimulus checks in 2020, they're still trying to keep this tired narrative alive that Trump, when he says he's going to do something, he's not going to do it, even though he's the only politician in my lifetime who actually does what he says. And lastly, if we hit our goal, if we hit our contribution goal, we will discuss a California woman who was kicked out of Gold's Gym for confronting a transgender woman. That means it was really a man. Actually had the chance to sit down and confront a California state senator about what happened to her. And I haven't watched the video yet, but I'm sure it's going to be explosive. Tish Hyman don't play no games. So we'll be discussing those three topics tonight. And let's just get into our first topic. Chaos erupts once again at UC Berkeley as the people who are supposed to be tolerant, peaceful, empathetic, fighting for democracy seek to go against and subvert democracy by shutting down free speech in the form of a Turning Point USA event at UC Berkeley.
Tonight, a big crowd at UC Berkeley as the conservative student group Turning Point USA makes a stop right here in the Bay Area. It comes just 2 months after the killing of Turning Point's founder, Charlie Kirk, who was supposed to headline tonight's event. Our Amanda Harry is live on the scene there where protesters also showed up. We've already actually seen at least one fight break out. Amanda.
Yeah, things have been lively here. While that Turning Point USA event is still happening inside, protesters have been out here for hours. You can see them still here behind me. They have been chanting, just a very, very lively scene out here. While things have been mostly peaceful, there have been some tense moments. Earlier this evening, there was a scuffle that broke out where two men started fighting. UC Berkeley police had to break up that interaction. Later, someone was throwing smoke bombs and a car backfired, leading some of the people who were protesting to run away. The protest was put together by students organizing for liberation. Some students say they don't believe UC Berkeley should host a large Turning Point USA event like this one, but other people are happy to be here for the event.
Turning Point USA should not be here, and they are like a fascist organization, and nobody here agrees with what they are saying. And obviously Charlie Kirk has been a big issue with like a lot of college campuses and people on college campuses. So we just think obviously I didn't really follow him a lot, but knowing what he did and knowing the things that he was saying, it's just like vile and disgusting. So we don't want to support his organization, and I don't think that the Berkeley chancellor should have let them come here.
I love being involved in politics, something that's always interested me, very conservative, and Charlie was a great influence on my life, just, how to live as a man and a godly man. So when I heard that they were bringing TPU here, I was like, heck yeah.
CBS Bay Area did confirm that 4 students were arrested earlier today on suspicion of felony vandalism. We do have a lot of police officers still out here watching this event, keeping a close eye on everything that is happening here. We'll have the latest for you at 11.
All right, Amanda Harry live at UC Berkeley. Amanda, thank you.
Okay, so we're dealing with the truth. The truth has been out, really. But this is the truth that they try to hide. These people, and if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, they are exactly who they say everyone else is. They are exactly who they say that everyone else is. They say everyone else is fascist. They're the fascists. They say that everyone else is trying to subvert or end democracy. They're the ones trying to subvert and end democracy. If you listen to their reasoning for not wanting Turning Point there, they didn't say they're dangerous. They didn't say they incite violence. They didn't give any real reasons. They just don't want them on a public college campus because they don't agree with what they're saying. Well, newsflash, morons, if you walk around the campus and have a discussion with every student, there is a large number of people on that campus who you will not agree with everything that they think or believe. If you're a Buddhist and they're a Christian, you have a fundamental disagreement because you don't believe that Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior. Does that mean they can't come on campus? That's where it's headed. That's where it's going. The minute you begin to try to put a prior restraint on others' speech, that is a legal term. Prior restraint on speech, where you try to stop someone from speaking because you don't agree with what they say, you are breaking the law because you are violating that person's constitutional rights. And slowly but surely, the hypocrisy of these people is becoming so acute that anybody can recognize it. Do me a quick favor. You should be able to have two angles. You should be able to watch vertically and you should be able to watch horizontally. Are any of you having a problem going to the horizontal version? Just let me know really quick before we get back into the show. You can do the vertical angle or the horizontal. Okay, so this mode. Okay, so you can go vertical. You can go horizontal if you want to. There is you have both options. You can choose which option you want. Let me see. So the vertical angle, I guess this is you guys telling me you don't like that. Because some people are saying it's yeah. So guys, just switch to horizontal. I believe if you go out of the video and go to YouTube, it will give you two options for whether you want to watch it horizontally or vertically. Sorry to have to deal with the technical issues. This is a new thing on StreamYard that they're allowing. And I thought that I was helping people out by allowing them to choose which angle they wanted. Yeah, just go out, and one view is going to be horizontal, one view is going to be vertical. Let me see which one. You'll see two options. One vertical. Yeah. Okay. So the first option, from what I see, the first option is going to be vertical. The second option is going to be horizontal. So you can choose, because some people don't like to watch videos horizontal. Yeah, you have to go out of the video, go to my YouTube, and click the horizontal version there. You'll see two versions of the same video. Click the second one. That'll be the horizontal version. Okay, so the back to the show. Back to the show. We don't want to be, let me make sure I'm not too blurry. Okay, so, right, okay. Yeah. All right, cool. So my audience ain't liking that, but there are people who only watch videos in horizontal. So we're learning, we're evolving. This is new tech. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna this is the way it's gonna be. But guys, listen. So these people are pure hypocrites. I don't know if you saw the situation where they jumped on this man who was at the event. This was a guy. When you see the fight, right? There's a fight that happened. And it's with this guy in the red shirt. He's also featured in the thumbnail. So they're not showing you the full story, but why would they? They're a bunch of liberal hacks. I appreciate that they blurred it a little bit so we won't get banned or blocked. Okay, so this guy on the left is a Muslim guy. The Taliban was out in full effect. They were wearing full Hamas gear. Heads were wrapped in everything, and they were spreading an anti-USA message. And this man right here was simply selling t-shirts that said freedom on them. That's it. He was just selling shirts that said freedom on them. And because they hate the idea of liberty, they hate the idea of freedom, that man selling those shirts agitated them so much that they went to his table, flipped over his table, and when he went to go pick up the shirts, they started attacking him. And you want me to tell you the crazy part? The police arrested him. Well, the police arrested both of them. But why should you be arrested if someone's attacking you? You're out there selling shirts trying to make a buck. The shirts didn't say Trump. It didn't say anything like that. The shirts literally just said freedom. That's it. And they flipped this guy's table over and assaulted him. They beat on this man. I mean, he was fighting back, but the guy got the drop on him because he was trying to pick up his t-shirts. But these people, they've made it clear that they are willing to use violence and intimidation to impact impact the way people vote. And that's what this is. This is political violence. This is political violence. No one's hurting them. No one's attacking them. They are the ones who are the aggressors in this situation, but they're turning it around, trying to make it look like the aggressor is you or me. Basically, they are engaged in a war that you're not even engaged in. And they keep referring to it as a war. Now, Chairman Mao, he said that war is politics without bloodshed. I mean, politics is war without bloodshed. But when you start to shed blood, and believe me, blood was shed because he was leaking. He was leaking. You're entering into a whole different ball game. These same people who want you to sympathize with them when they say that ICE or the police have violated their rights, have used excessive force against them. Look at what they do. They're worse than ICE. They're worse than any of the people that they claim are the enemy. They might as well go work for the Gestapo that they claim everybody else is, because they are literally the initiators of violence. I mean, at some point, America is gonna have to grow up, because these are like children throwing a tantrum. They don't get their way. They want to stomp their foot. They want to roll around on the ground. They want to try to hit you. Have you ever seen a little kid hit their parent? First thing you think in your mind, they need their ass whooped. They need their ass whooped because they have clearly lost sight of the reality of the situation. That's these people. Their parents didn't raise them right. They were raised with permissive parenting, where your parents just say, hey, I'm going to deal with your crap until you get older, and then I can send you away to be somebody else's problem. And little Peggy Sue and Dylan, they go off to college, they become radicalized watching the internet, and they go outside and think, look, I could put my hands on people. But if you put your hands on them, you're the Gestapo, you're Hitler, you're a Nazi, you're this, you're that. It's lit. It's, man, you can say this a million times and it will never lose its power. It's rules for thee, but not for me. If I don't like something you say, I can hit you. But if you don't like something I say, don't put your hands on me. Don't even get close to me, because if you even say something that I don't like, you've assaulted me. It's always the snowflakes, the mental midgets who are out here trying to aggress against people. But people aren't going to tolerate this crap much longer. I'm just keeping it real. But I got one question for all of you. Whatever happened to Islam being a religion of peace? Because it ain't looking too peaceful right now.
We're learning more details on the development of a bloody scene on the campus there in Cal Berkeley last night. Let's continue on our coverage here on Live Now from Fox. Several arrests were made at this as fights broke out at a Turning Point USA event. Let's be joined right now by senior correspondent for Fox News, Claudia Cowan. Claudia, thank you so much for joining us. You were there on the scene.
Hey, do you think that Tom 1 is even watching the stream? Do you say the same thing when Turning Point USA tables get flipped over on college campuses? Yeah, I support Turning Point USA 100%. Why? I don't want any tables getting flipped over, but I know no one from Turning Point USA is flipping over anybody's tables. These are liberals doing this stuff. Crybabies. Mad because their choice didn't win in the last election. And so now they're going to make everybody else's life a living hell because they can't get their way. Just like a 5-year-old.
You were on the ground. What's the latest? And give us your perspective.
Well, hi, Andy. That's right. Things turned ugly really fast, really quickly last night when several hundred protesters tried to block ticket holders from getting inside the Turning Point USA event, which was being held at Zellerbach Hall on the campus of UC Berkeley. It was just quite a scene and violent frequently. Police in riot gear, though, did hold the line against the raucous crowd. Many wore masks and waved Palestinian flags. They were chanting "No fascists" in Berkeley, among other much more vulgar slogans. Tensions boiled over when people began throwing rocks and bottles and even a flare. A man who breached the barricade was quickly taken down and arrested. In another confrontation, a protester got into a bloody fight in the street with a man wearing Charlie Kirk's trademark Freedom shirt. Both were dragged away by police. Now, in a statement, Cal administrators said, quote, "We are aware of one violent incident last night. 2 individuals were arrested for fighting outside campus. They were arrested for battery by the City of Berkeley Police Department." We understand the campus police also made several arrests. And Andy, I can tell you that the violence last...
Now look, so here's what Berkeley does. Oh, 2 individuals were arrested for violence. They were both arrested for battery. They're going to show you this clip right here, and I'm going to make it bigger just so you can see it a little bit better. It was clearly the anti-Turning Point protester who did the violence. They're showing you right here. He went up to this guy. He's selling the T-shirts, and he's wearing one of the T-shirts. So you know he's selling the T-shirt, right? He went up to this guy, and he just took all his stuff off the table and just threw it on the ground. He just threw all his stuff on the ground. And then they start fighting. Because in today's America, you have to take that. You have to take it. But if you dare try to do it to them, oh, you're Hitler. You're the enemy. See, that's just like a Trump supporter trying to hurt somebody and assault them. And it's like, dude, what world are these people living in? But this is America now. They can violate you, but you can't do anything about it.
Last night has now gotten the attention of the DOJ, and a federal investigation will promise to look into issues. I can tell you that this violence last night...
You can see him grab all his stuff off the table and then watch him sling the stuff.
Has now gotten the attention of the DOJ.
Come on, bro. Why are you touching that man's stuff? He's trying to sell that stuff. He could have a family. He could simply be trying to feed his family. But because you don't like people disagreeing with you, you have the right to not only go steal and vandalize his stuff, but you get to assault him and he gets to go to jail. And the guy with the red shirt was the one with all the blood all over his face. But this is the world some of us are creating. And this is the world that some of us are sitting quietly allowed to be created. Because we're saying, well, it ain't me. It ain't me. Well, if that would have been me. Bro, these people are in large mobs. I don't know how many of you guys can rally together 300 people in a couple of hours. This is like a army. They come together and they agitate. And then if you dare stand up or disagree with them, they attack you.
And a federal investigation will promise to look into issues surrounding security and how protesters were able to, quote, operate with impunity in California. So this is not the last chapter on this violence we saw at UC Berkeley last night.
Yeah,
Andy?
It's very unfortunate what unfolded there at this what was a peaceful event turned very violent very, very fast. I do want to ask you, because you mentioned that DOJ investigation, the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights under Pam Bondi, they will be investigating it. She also pointed back to 2017 in Berkeley. Can you share any of those insights? Is that a familiar scene? Is that similar?
Well, you know, it's a good question, Andy, because, of course, Berkeley is known to be the birthplace of the free speech movement. But in the past, we've seen Ben Shapiro and Ann Coulter and other speakers who've been invited to come. But when they are conservative, they are not so much welcomed there at UC Berkeley. And that's what happened in the past. And there was an investigation, and I believe it was settled. So that's what Harmeet Dillon is talking about now in her post on X, launching this new investigation looking into campus and local security issues and what happened there last night.
And can you tell me what comes next? Because we know the arrests have to go through the judicial system. Is there any other events planned, any other conservative events? Because as you mentioned, Berkeley, really a hotbed for political activism. Are we expecting any other events from the right or the left?
You know, not that I've heard about, not at UC Berkeley. I can tell you that last night marked the final stop of this Turning Point USA campus tour. And organizers say this movement is only gaining momentum. And so they say they are planning more events at more college campuses with more high-profile conservative speakers in the months ahead.
Listen, so one thing you know about these radicalized liberal voters is they're cowards, right? Of everyone that was there, when the man attacked the man selling the T-shirts, not a single person moved to break up the fight. If someone's getting attacked at a Trump rally, I'm not going to stand there and say, oh, this is exactly what they want. I'm going to go run up and break it up and say, hey, dude, we're not here for that. This is not us. This is not what we represent. We're here to bring people together, not attack people and drive them away. And I have to be honest. I'm going to be honest in Django. I was just watching Django. Honestly, when I went and I debated against Destiny, Stephen, what's his name? Stephen Bonner or something. I forgot his last name. But the media personality known as Destiny, when I debated him in Glendale, California, I can honestly tell you, there was a room of about 250 people there. All of them were Destiny fans, and they were very polite. They were very gracious. They thanked me for getting on stage and debating him. Many of them told me that I did a great job. A lot of them asked what was my YouTube channel. They wanted to follow. They wanted to follow the content. Stephen Banner. They wanted to follow the content, and they wanted to keep up with what was going on with me. They did not act like violent animals. So even if someone is very passionate, even though there are some on the left who are very passionate about what they believe, even though they may say some crazy things on YouTube and social media, all people on the left are not violent and they're not willing to attack. I think this has more to do with radicalized religious fanaticism than it does to do with political radicalization. Because I don't believe it's a coincidence who went and attacked that man for selling shirts that simply said freedom. I'm buying my freedom shirt. I'm buying my Turning Point USA shirt tonight. And I suggest you do the same. Because the minute you show these people that their bullying tactics and their scare tactics and intimidation tactics are working, that's when they got you. All they'll do is increase the intensity of these attacks. And we're not having it. We're not having it. I'm telling you, you and me and you, right here, us, one-on-one, we're making an agreement that we will not be intimidated. No one is going to take away our rights. We fought way too hard to get to this point where we could exercise rights. And I'll be damned if I let some college-age liberal freak scare me to the point where I am too afraid to exercise all of my constitutional rights. And you know what's so funny? They call everyone a Nazi. But isn't that what the Nazis did? They used intimidation tactics on the Jews to the point where the Jews were afraid to speak out. And even people who saw what was going on and knew it was wrong, they were afraid to speak out. That's how it starts. They scare you. They make you say, you know what, it's easier if I just don't say anything. It's not me, it's somebody else. If they do it to me, I'll react. I'll do something about it. But as long as they're doing it to somebody else, I'm just going to stay silent. And that's what we saw at that protest. We saw people on both sides, because there were some people who were there in support of Turning Point USA, but I believe they actually were in the building. But the fact that no one came to his aid, even the police stood there and watched it happen, because let's be realistic. They're not going to do anything. The police officers are just regular workers. They're not going to do anything that they feel is going to jeopardize their job. You're over there fighting like an animal, and that guy's like, dude, I'm not going to break that up, because if I grab somebody the wrong way, I end up having to bust somebody in the head. Who's going to pay my mortgage? Who's going to pay my car note? Who's going to pay my kid's private school? That's what the police are thinking about when they're watching these people act like animals. They're not going to get in unless they're absolutely forced to do so. But I expect more from the peaceful, tolerant, empathetic, loving, soft, virtuous left. It's always them attacking people. It's always them shooting people. It's always them doing everything that they say everyone else is going to do. I watch people say, oh, they want all trans people to, they want to kill all trans people. Ain't a trans person been killed yet. Find me the article. Ain't a trans person been killed yet. Please share me the article. Every single thing they say you're going to do, everything they say you are, that's exactly who they are. I believe that's called projection. I couldn't even imagine attacking someone who's outside of an event, selling shirts to feed their family, beating them till they're bloody, getting them arrested. They have to leave all their merchandise out on this curb. And part of me feels like the police in Berkeley, they might also be liberal lunatics too, right? Because obviously you're going to pull your police force from the people in your area because they understand the people there. I almost feel like they made him leave his stuff like that on purpose. I feel like they made him leave his merchandise out there on purpose. And I hope somebody, a good Samaritan, took the time to pack his stuff up after that animal threw all of his stuff on the ground. I hope somebody put it in boxes, and I hope somebody's holding it for him. I'm going to reach out and see what's going on with that situation. I'll try to find the guy's name, and I'll buy a shirt from him and I'll give him a couple of bucks for a couple of those shirts that he might have lost. Maybe slide him a hundo or something. At least that'll cover at least 5 of whatever was stolen. I'm not rich, and most of my viewers don't contribute. So I wish I was rich like that. I would just shoot the guy 1,000 and say, hey man, here's just for being a good American. Here's for just being a guy who's honest, trying to make a living, and it's sad what happened to you. But we're not there yet. We're going to get there, though. We're not there yet. Let me get this super chat from my boy, Sticks and Stones LA. Shout out the channel. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Defiant Brandon is the channel. That's the name. Pissing people off, pissing off liberals is the game. And we're definitely out here trying to just be a light in the darkness. Because times are going to get a lot harder before things get better. It's going to get a lot rougher before it gets better. But I do see a light at the end of the tunnel. And let me be a light in the middle of the tunnel to help you find your way if you need any type of guidance, or you need you need somebody to kind of explain this nonsense that's going on. We're going to keep it real if we don't do nothing else. Today we have an ask. We have a challenge. We're asking for 10 $5 contributions to show your support and love for this channel and this stream. We're working. We're working. The analytics are going up. You see the thumbnails, they're looking pretty good today. I've been working on them. I'm actually learning YouTube. I'm learning the analytics game. I'm learning the thumbnail game, all that, just to bring you the best content possible. But I have an issue with the algorithm because I had a lot of people come over from No Jumper. Those people they watch the hip hop and cultural content, but they absolutely hate the political content. And that's fine. That's their right. But the problem is when YouTube algorithm shoots them the political content, they immediately swipe away, or they click it and they leave it immediately. So that's telling YouTube that a large part of my audience does not like political content. So what that does is, because it's just an algorithm, it's just artificial intelligence, it's saying, hey, we're not going to push these videos out past his immediate audience because his audience is rejecting the videos. Now, I know that that's not the case. A large part of my audience does like the videos, but you need to hit the notification bell. You need to hit the notification bell if you want to see all the content as it is released. And if you would like for this channel to grow and you would like to get more of this content, please drop a super chat, $2, $1, $5, whatever, because the algorithm actually pays attention to the donations on the channel, and that impacts how far they send your content out to. So you just got a little lesson on the YouTube algorithm. So anybody who's trying to start a YouTube channel, that's how it works. You got to get people to click your videos, and then YouTube expands. It's like one layer. If this first layer likes the video, then they send it out to the next layer. If this layer likes the video, then they send it out to the next layer, and so on and so forth. And then you get in the big ocean of YouTube, and you're out there with the big boys like Anton Daniels, Greg Foreman, DeVory, and all of them. And now you're swimming with the sharks, and you got to keep on putting out that content. I want to do that for you. I want to do that for you. And I'm getting slimmer. I've been fasting, warrior diet. But we're working on it. We're improving ourselves in all ways, shapes, and forms. I hope you are working on improving yourself every day. Do not wait until the new year to do the new year, new me thing. You could start today, and you'll be 2 months in by the time the new year arrives. We can do it together. You hold me accountable. I'll hold all of you accountable. Now we need to go to the next topic. Everywhere I look, I feel like I'm in 2020 all over again. If you don't know, Donald Trump announced that he will be giving Americans a $2,000 dividend payout from all the money, the billions and billions of dollars that he has collected in tariffs from countries that want to sell their products in the United States. Now, this is a very familiar thing because we remember Donald Trump was the president who thought of the idea to give Americans a stimulus check to help deal with the negative financial or economic impact of COVID-19. When Trump first announced the stimulus checks for COVID-19, everyone said he'd never do it, especially in the African American community. They said, I'll believe it when I see it. That's what they said. Now, and you know, Trump delivered. He delivered on those payments. I don't remember 100%, but I think we got a couple of stimulus checks. I believe there were several stimulus checks, but Trump delivered on his promise. Why is it that now that Trump has promised the tariff dividends check, you have people saying the same crap that they were saying in 2020? They got the money from Trump. They spent the money from Trump. So they know that it's real and the check will cash. They know it'll hit their direct deposit. But all of a sudden, oh, Trump will never do it. I'm telling you, we are living in the age of cognitive dissonance, where someone can know that a person's record is good. When someone knows that can know that a person does what they say they're going to do, and they will still operate in a way that is ignorant of the facts. I don't know if they're doing this to make themselves feel better. I don't know if they're doing this as a way to troll, or if they truly just are so hateful of the president that they want to doubt him at every turn. But here's my thing. Why don't we make a bet? If Trump does deliver the tariff dividend checks, why don't you just give me your tariff dividend check? And if Trump doesn't deliver the tariff dividend checks, I'll give you $2,000 out of my own pocket. I bet you there ain't a person in America who would take that bet. I bet you there ain't a person living in the United States of America who will take that bet. Because they know if there's one thing about Trump, even his enemies admit this, the man does what he says he's going to do. And if he doesn't do what he says he's going to do, there has to be some type of extenuating circumstances or some type of impassable impediment that is preventing him from doing so. But if it is in his power and he makes a promise, the Trumpster, 47, the orange man, damn it, he's going to deliver if he don't do nothing else. Let's tap in.
We heard about the Doge dividends. What about tariff dividends? The Treasury collected almost $200 billion in tariff revenue in the fiscal year 2025 that ended in September. Now, President Trump wants to cut Americans a check, writing on Truth Social over the weekend that low and middle income Americans will receive $2,000 payments from the tariff income, and the rest will be used to help pay down the national debt. This is pending a decision from the Supreme Court, which just days ago cast doubt on the tariff legality or the use of power to impose these tariffs. But Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says a dividend can come in a lot of different ways.
The $2,000 dividend could come in lots of forms, in lots of ways, George. It could be just the tax decreases that we are seeing on the president's agenda. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on Social Security, deductibility of auto loans. So, those are substantial deductions that, are being financed in the tax bill.
I love how the Treasury Secretary spun that little gem. He's like, well, it's not a check. It's just a tax cut that you already got. That was back in July.
Right. But the president does sound like he's talking about a check, if I'm not mistaken from reading that Truth Social. And I think that he realizes that if you go the way of Besant and try to explain it that way, there are going to be people that aren't touched by that, and they're going to feel like they were left out of it somehow, or that they got the short end of the stick. And so all of a sudden he's coming out with these dividend checks for low and middle income. And I'm thinking to myself, this is really interesting, as we're waiting to hear what the Supreme Court's going to do on this. After we listened to oral arguments last week, I didn't really think that the court was that positive on keeping tariffs in place in the same structure and form that they currently exist in. And then we started having the conversation, well, what would we do with the money? How would you give it back to people? This, to me, sounds like a way for the president to do that before the court tells him what to do, which gives him more power and more control over the narrative as it is unfolding here. I don't know what the Supreme Court will do, how they will rule on this particular case, but I always think President Trump is a few steps ahead of what is going to happen. I think they're already thinking about plans on rewriting these tariffs under different laws to be able to keep them in play if the court says that they're not allowed to. But this, to me, sounded like, you know what, I'm going to go spend this money before they tell me. And he talks about paying down the national debt with what's left over. I think, I mean, Taylor, I know you're in this camp. I would have liked to have him take the whole $200 billion and pay down the debt.
So, and that's where I am. Super, super cold take. Everyone hates me for this. I would not be handing out more stimmy checks, especially, I mean, let's say you even argue that a tariff is a tax on a consumer, or corporations are passing on the extra cost to the consumers. We've tried this. We did this under Biden. Stimmy season has got to come to an end. I do not want government money that they're taxing to then give to me.
All right, now this is where the Democrats and the conservatives, now this is where we're going to have an argument at the cookout now. You don't want stimulus checks because you're not rich, but you're making really good money. These people are making $200,000, $300,000 a year to get on TV and talk for an hour a day. So yeah, they're in New York City. They're living the good life. They're living in penthouses, all this type of stuff. I'm not going to knock them too hard. I have a nice living, I think. I just bought some lobster and it was excellent from this place. I got to tell you all about it later on. But here's the thing. We want those stimmy checks. I don't care if they say, well, Brandon, you're not going to get a stimmy check. I know that there are plenty of people that I know who could really use a $2,000 stimmy check. And they work and they've invested in the United States economy just like everybody else. If you give a criminal, illegal, alien, migrant a penny, damn it, you better come with those stimmy checks. I don't want to hear nothing this lady is talking about as far as, oh, I just want them to pay down the debt. Hell no. Take the money that you're giving to the illegal, criminal, alien, migrant violators who cross the border illegally. Take that money that you're giving them and use that to pay down the national debt. But Americans, we who have taken on the inconvenience of dealing with all this nonsense and still have our nose to the grinding stone, we deserve some stimulus. We deserve our cut. We deserve our cut. Because we are here too. And because we are not in the top 1%, we're not in the top 10%. We take a bigger hit from everything that happens to this country economically than anyone. The ones of us who aren't on SNAP benefits, the ones of us who aren't on Section 8 housing, the ones of us who ain't getting no big ass tax return every year. Everyone could use a little appreciation money. Everyone can use an incentive. Everyone can use a little bonus. And I believe that if anybody deserves a bonus, it is the hardworking, the hardest working people on the planet. Trust me, I've been around the world. We're the hardest working people on the planet by far, and it ain't even close. The hardest working people on the planet, the American people, we deserve a bonus. We deserve a check. Cut the check, Trump. Don't listen to this hoochie. I don't care what she talk about. If she don't like it, she could send her stimulus check back. I think Trump should allow people to opt out of the dividends check. And if you don't want it, we'll keep it and put it directly to the debt. But I do believe that, the sun's got to shine on the sun even has to shine on a dog's ass sometimes. And we the dogs. We the dogs. You and me. We the dogs. We want that. We want that 2,000. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like Yeezy. I got a problem with spending before I get it, and I already know where my money going. Do y'all already got y'all dividend tariff y'all tariff dividend money spent yet? Some of y'all, I know y'all like me. Y'all like me. You're like me. You are like me. You got your money spent already. My boy hit me up. He in the Nation of Islam. He said, bro, I'm giving me some new golf clubs with that stimmy money. I said, bro, I got $5 on it. I sent you $5 on the golf clubs, dog, because we going to be paid. Okay? And if you're a hardworking American, if you are a person who works hard for your money, 2,000 might as well be $1 million because you could spend it on whatever you want. It ain't already planned on. It ain't already planned to go out. If you running your finances like a business and you got everything accounted for, that $2,000 hit out of nowhere, baby, gonna feel real good. Gonna feel real good. Honest engine, Django. So don't play us. White folks be cool. You can work with them sometimes. But you always know there's going to be a connection. There's going to be a little disconnect on certain things. See, you can let them, they can speak for you a lot of the time, and they get it right most of the time. But sometimes you got to, get out the way now. You didn't say it too much now. Now let us do the talking. Let us handle the rest. You volunteering too much. You sending the wrong message to the government. Let us talk now. We do want the tariff dividends. We do want that stimmy. It's not even a stimmy, but we're going to call it a stimmy because that just rolls off the tongue, right? Stimmy is only two syllables. Tariff dividend is like 4. No, it's 5, actually, which is crazy. But we not listen to her. We listen to her. She's here to give us information and news, but she is not here to speak on our behalf as to what we want and what we don't want. So we gonna just let her sit in the cooler for a minute.
$2,000 is tons of money and would absolutely help tons of families, but I don't want to be relying on government for a check. Even though it sounds so tangible, if you get a check in the mail with Trump's name on it, sounds great.
Inflation,
no.
Right?
Inflation.
We're going to just inject all that money. People go out. Charles Payne was talking about it the other day. They spend.
That experiment for stimmies. It doesn't.
Listen, I already see the dudes. Look at the body language of the men on the panel. They leaning back. They uncomfortable in their seat. They like, shut the hell up. They about to go buy some new golf clubs too. What you mean inflation? Trump has eased inflation. And as long as when we give the money back and the government collects the money, they burn it, inflation will go down. That's how you get inflation to go down. You eliminate some of the money that's out there. But there's a lot of ways to ease inflation. But not cutting us our dividends check is not one of them. This is investment. This is a ROI, a return on investment as an American. Give us our dividends check. Stop playing. Talking about, oh yeah, $2,000 is a ton of money and it can help a lot of people. Well, that's what we're trying to do, right? Help people. You help all the SWAT meet recipients. You help every damn illegal immigrant who stick his toe across the border. But Americans can't get the $2,000 dividend tariff. So we could be fiscally irresponsible for everybody else. But we can't be fiscally irresponsible for hard-working, blue-blooded Americans. They could go straight to hell. She can go straight to hell with that one. Y'all say conservatives never disagree. That's a lie. That's a lie from the pit of hell. If I was sitting up there, I'd have been like, shut your mouth. I want my $2,000. I want my dividend. And if you don't want yours, I'll happily take it off your hands for you. Because if they give it to her, best believe she going to go spend it on more Maybelline. Hush up now, guy.
Work.
I agree with you 100% on the economics, but for the politics of it, I think for everyday Americans, what happens in Washington is so far removed. This makes it tangible, as you said. It brings it home, and it's a physical representation, or digital, because it comes in direct deposit, that what is happening with the trade wars. Why are we doing it? It's a patriotic refund in some way. But I agree with you 100%. We should not be spending money we collect over here when we have a big debt that we still have to pay down. Every last penny. We've talked about this. You're a saver. You know, use that to get yourself.
See, what she doesn't realize, and I don't blame her, because there's a lot of people like this. What she doesn't realize is she's speaking like a upper middle class American. Someone who can, if you take $2,000 off their taxes, that to them is the same as handing them $2,000, right? But when you're talking to lower middle class Americans and people who are teetering on the border of middle class and poverty, $2,000 cash, they can use that right now, and that can make a lot of problems go away for them. So like I said, they should allow you to opt in or opt out. How would you like it? And Trump could say, hey, if you make over $2,000, $200,000 a year, it's going to be a tax credit for you. But if you don't make over $200,000 a year, we're going to just infuse the check. I saw you right there. I heard you. I saw you mention eggs. Gas prices are out of control. Trump has raised the price on everything. Yada, 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 yada. Listen, bull crap. I'm not playing these games with y'all, because with you, I'm not playing these games. Gas is under $3 nationwide. It's going to stay high in California because we have all these gas taxes, but gas is under $5 in California. It's actually under $4.50, which is the same as it being under $3 everywhere else in America, right? But the price of eggs, and eggs are really special to me because I love eggs, right? So when eggs were like $12, whatever, I was one of those people who still was buying eggs, right? I was the guy spending $30 on 3 cartons of eggs. I'm sorry. I need my eggs. I need them. The hell is that? I thought that was a mouse, but it's just a piece of lint. But anyway, so dog, we went and bought so many eggs today. Eggs are cheap. They had eggs on sale for $1.99. And if you live where I live, they were selling a dozen eggs for like $12 at the height of the egg crisis, right? The eggs are at $1.99. Bro, we went and bought so many eggs because we just eat a lot of eggs. I'm sure my cholesterol's through the roof, but we eat a lot of eggs. Wait, hold on. Look at all my eggs. But we have more than this. But today we ate 6 eggs. But look at all these eggs, dude. Eggs are very special to me. I don't think I could overstate how special eggs are. But yeah, we bought eggs was $1.99 for a dozen, the good stuff too. But the only problem is I wasn't at the store, because if eggs were $1.99, I would have bought the biggest, most gigantic eggs possible. Love eggs. If you don't love eggs, something is wrong with you. Eggs go with absolutely anything. Anything. Let's get back into this.
Ahead, you got to do that as a country as well. We need fiscal discipline. But this could point to, you bring it up, we talked about it on the break, is it because the president's afraid of his economic approval rating, right? Affordability, that buzzword, won the Democrats a lot of seats. How do you make life sound like the Republicans are making life more affordable?
You know what the president is doing, which I like, though, is I feel like he's shifting his focus back to the economy. I'm not a huge fan of the $2,000 dividend because we are running a $1.8 trillion deficit just this year. This money that we're getting from tariffs isn't even covering interest on the debt, a point you make all the time, Dagan. But what the president is saying, what he's saying by this is, I know that I've got to deliver results for the American people because that's why they voted for me. He's done a lot of great things abroad. He's done a lot of great things in other policy areas, but he knows his bread and butter is the economy and people feeling that in their wallets. And I think there's a sense that America hasn't quite felt it the way they want to or need to yet. So what I hear Scott Bessent doing, and I agree with you, Dagan, he's massaging the issue in that interview. But I think what he's trying to say is there's juice in place in the Trump agenda that people are going to start feeling as they come into 2026. And I think he's just trying to point people ahead to that. Now, does that work in politics? I don't know. I think people want to feel it now. But I do think I see an administration pivoting back to the economy after doing a lot of good things other places, and that can't come a minute too soon.
Yeah, I agree. But where do you get the most impact, right? Again, I'm not arguing for these. But are you going to get a big impact on paying down the deficit with $200 billion payment? No. Are you going to get a big impact with going to tens of millions of Americans with a $2,000 payment? I think so. And I think this is a calculated political and economic move.
I think they took stock after last Tuesday's election.
Yeah, and I was about to say that. I'm with BRAWL 100%. The optics of the $2,000 cash payment are going to go crazy because you're already dealing with the Democrats saying that you're not addressing affordability. You're already saying you're dealing with the Democrats saying you don't care about average Americans and all you care about is billionaires. At this point, Trump has to do something. And that's what you do if you're a CEO or you're a boss. If you're dealing with a huge problem, you just throw out a Hail Mary. You got to throw something up. And pray that someone catches it, because right now I believe the Democrat Party has done a good job of making the American people feel like Donald Trump and the Republicans don't care about them. I'm sorry, I got to be honest. People say I never criticize the Republicans. I do. I believe the Democrats did a great job of spinning the narrative on the government shutdown. And there are a lot of Americans who believe that the president and the Republican Party just don't give a damn about them. And that can hurt you in the midterms. It's not about the facts at that point. When somebody doesn't have food in their refrigerator, they don't care about facts. The only fact they care about is, I don't have food in my refrigerator to feed my kids. And that's a fact. And they're going to associate that with Donald Trump. A lot of people blame the shutdown on the Republicans, even though anyone who does research knows it is not the fault of the Republicans. But it doesn't matter because we do a horrible job at political education, civics, and I feel like that's something that really needs to be ramped up. I think every child should be required to take a civics test before they're allowed to graduate college. I think they should know which party is which, what they stand for. They need to know what a filibuster is. They need to know the different branches of government. They need to know the powers of the president, the powers of the Supreme Court. They need to know the power of Congress, because you had a situation recently where they said that where circuit court judges were ordering the president to move money from one program or one department that it was allocated for to another department that it wasn't allocated for, and to spend that money to pay SNAP benefits. And if anyone knows the way the government works, that was totally unconstitutional. Power over the distribution of money rests solely with Congress. If you took government or economics, Congress has the power of the purse. So they determine where and when money is allocated and how much money is allocated. So how can the president then go in and say, hey, take this money from the Department of the Defense and send it over to the USDA so that they can pay food stamps? The president doesn't even have the power to do that. He doesn't. And Trump knows that. And if he would have tried to do that, they would have blocked him, and then they would have impeached him. And then he would have had to step down as president, because if you get impeached twice, I think you're done. I think you can only be impeached twice. You guys can correct me. I think I think you got two. But if you get a third one, you got to step down or something like that. But I could be wrong. I'll do the research. But that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to trick Donald Trump into violating the Constitution. That's what they were doing. But violating the law of this land. But see, people need to know. And there has to be some type of competency test. You don't have to require for people to be able to vote. But I would say make that a requirement of graduation. And I think you would see a big shift in party loyalty and stuff like that. Okay, so guys, we are here at the hour mark, and I really would like to, let me get this other super chat. Rico Kevorkian, salute, bro. Keep up the content. It's very informative. Hey, the third, I don't know if you guys looked at this, but our third topic that we want to discuss with the woman who confronts the California senator after she was kicked out of Gold's Gym for confronting a transgender woman that means they're a man. I want to discuss that. I want to look it up and I want to discuss that. But we've set a goal. And you know what? Let's meet halfway. Let's do 2 more $5 super chats and we'll discuss that. But in the meantime, because I really want to get there. But let's get there. How I feel about this. I love it. I love the idea of the 2K dividend. Why not? But before we go there, I want to go, because that's our goal. If we hit our goal, let's do that. If we get 2 more $5 super chats, we'll discuss that. But in the meantime, I've been talking to a friend of mine, and he put me up on game about a channel that's out of Chicago called The Jam. And what's surprising about this channel is that this is a podcast run by young black men. And for some reason, the mayor of Chicago, though he is embroiled in a battle right now with ICE, he took the time out to go on this channel. Now, I believe that this is a podcast that, like many other podcasts, is funded by the Democrat Party of Chicago and of Illinois, because the optics of it these guys have a very, very, very professional looking studio. Yet these guys look like they've never had a job in their life. And I could be totally wrong about that, right? But they sat down with Brandon Johnson a couple days back, and I was just kind of looking at the videos, and we have a serious problem. We have these kids, they know nothing about the way this country works. And it kind of gives some insight into why they're just blindly following whatever politician says something that sounds good. These guys are literally the ideas that they have and the things that they say they want the government to do. It really makes no sense. And Brandon Johnson, he revealed himself. He didn't reveal himself, but he proved himself to be exactly who we think he is, because he sits with these men, these young men. He sees that they are politically ignorant, and he doesn't move to correct or educate them. He just goes right along with their ignorance, because he knows that if he just affirms what they say, if he just coddles their wrong ideas and their lack of understanding, if he enables it, he'll have loyal voters in his next bid to be mayor of Chicago. Let's tap into this.
The safest communities in America, they all have one thing in common. They invest in people. Yeah.
Okay, so this discussion was on saving lives without more cops. So we're going to get crime down and save people's lives without putting additional police on the street. Let's see what they had to say about that.
Child is hungry. You don't say, hey, look, would you like to meet the commander of the 15th Police District?
One of the top taglines that
So the first ignorant thing he said, and I haven't watched this video, y'all. The first, he already started with ignorance. They're talking about lowering crime and saving lives without putting more police on the street. And Brandon Johnson makes an analogy about if your kid is hungry, you don't say, hey, would you like to meet the captain of the police force? And they laugh like, yeah, that didn't even make any sense. What does your kid being hungry have to do with saving people's lives and lowering crime so people aren't getting killed while they're sitting in their jewelry shop, like what happened the other day in Little Village in Chicago? See, that you could tell it went over their heads, but they just agreed with it. But let's keep going.
the Republican Party has used for justifying the deployment of troops here, for justifying the ICE raids, is a crime spike, crime rates. We went actually pretty viral on this podcast for diving into some of the numbers that they had cited.
Okay, first and foremost, you're a young black man. You're clearly an American citizen. Why do you care about immigration and ICE? Has nothing to do with you. Bro, these kids don't even care about what's going on in the next room in their own house. But you're going to convince me that these kids wake up in the morning and say, man, we got to do something about ICE being in our city. This is crap. This is baloney. This is stir-fry baloney.
And explaining how they were kind of taking things out of proportion, misrepresenting things. And either way, a response that makes sense wouldn't include something like the National Guard. If I'm reading stats from your administration, we have overall violent crime being down by 23%, homicides down 46.7, shootings down 42, robberies down 33, and vehicular hijackings down 45. What is your approach? Why is your approach to driving down these crime numbers and caring for the areas that are impacted by these better than the approach that a lot of people, even in community here, will say? They'll say that they've lived through a traumatic thing or they've seen a violent crime happen. So the initial reaction is, okay, we got to get somebody with a tank come in here and just make it go away. Bro. Yeah. Can you speak to the problem with that approach, and what have you and your administration done better?
It's, first of all, when I think about community safety, it's my top priority. It's what I think about every day, all day, honestly. So, my first call in the morning is usually around 8 a.m. My chief of staff and a few other people in my executive team. And that's when I find out what happened the night before once I went to bed. It's an anxious time for me, around 7:45, I'm thinking like, okay, what are the numbers? Who are the lives that have been impacted? And, if you don't have that as a part of your daily routine, it's, you don't have the same level of responsibility. Now,
you wake up and see a number on a screen.
Exactly, right? Where I get the full readout of what happened, who it happened to, how old they were, what neighborhood. And, living in Austin, I love the West Side. And
Shout
I'm
out
the first mayor, in the history of Chicago to wake up in one of the most disinvested communities, right? So I know what it's like, prior to me becoming mayor, my oldest, he's 18 now, he'll be 18 in a couple of weeks. When he's on his bike, I'm like, yo, not that street.
Yeah.
Where you going? How far? Call, text, soon as you get there, right? And, when you've had shootings and.
So if crime is down, because he's rambling right now, he really hasn't done anything. Remember that the question is, what have you done to lower the crime in the city? He didn't really lower anything. What they've done is they've stopped reporting the crime to the FBI, who generates the crime statistics. It's the same thing they're doing in California. We just don't report it. We show up late and let them lay there for a while. And then we say, oh, this person died from a gunshot, but we don't know if it was self-inflicted or what. And they don't even report that. Chicago is one of the cities that was reported by the FBI as not giving crime data for the past several years. Let me make sure. Yes. Okay. So y'all know I'm not lying to you. Boy, I don't lie to y'all. You know what? It gives me tingles. I'm not gonna lie. It gives me tingles when I tell y'all some truth, when I educate y'all, and I know y'all gonna go out and spread the word. Right here. Yes, the FBI has reported that Chicago, along with several other major cities, did not submit complete crime data for certain periods, particularly in 2021. This was due to a transition to a new reporting system, and while some data was submitted, it was incomplete or in some cases missing for several months. For 2021, the Marshall Project found that the Chicago Police Department reported for only 7 of 12 months. That's what they do. They report 7 of 12 months. And guess what? If you only report for 7 out of 12 months, you know what that's going to do? It's going to artificially decrease the crime numbers. I'm just educating y'all. I'm just educating you. I'm just trying to give you some game on how these people fudge the numbers. This is what they do. Stop telling me crime is down when people are getting murdered outside of their jewelry shops. Stop telling me crime is down when I just had someone I know get carjacked in Chicago. All they do is don't report because there's no crime or criminal punishment for not reporting. You don't report, FBI reports that you didn't report, and you move on. And that's what Brandon Johnson and the Democrats of Chicago are doing. They're simply not reporting. And he can't say that, so he has to try to fumble around and, oh, like I tell my son, not that street, and whoop-de-whoop-de-wop and whoop-de-bam and all this crap that no one really gives two damns about. But that's how they throw you off. They try to connect with you. They try to make themselves relatable. Oh, yeah, because, I got to tell my son, not that street. Well, if crime is down, why do you have to tell your son not that street? Shouldn't your son be able to go on any street he wants to if crime is down? That's what I would think. Crime is down. Son, you get on any street you want. You good. We Gucci. No, of course not. Because Brandon Johnson is lying to you. He's lying to you. Crime is not down, and he knows it's not down. Crime is not down, and he knows crime is not down. But he's going to keep trying to blow smoke up your butt because he know most people are not really in a position to go check. And they don't care. Or they do care, but they feel like there's nothing they can do about it. So that's what he's doing. He's trying to ramble.
In Austin, and literally bullets coming through our home, our window, and people getting shot out right outside our home, right? And we go right to bed. Like this is just normal, and we don't want to normalize it. And so I think just having a lived experience and an understanding of like what families go through when you live in communities that have been disinvested in, right? And so when we talk about investing in young people, Austin, for instance, we hired about 1,800 young people from the Austin neighborhood.
Wow.
Austin, the police district there, the 15th police district, we've seen some of the greatest declines in homicides, shooting victims, right? So we've taken this approach that, look, the safest communities in America, they all have one thing in common. They invest in people.
Yeah.
When a child is hungry, you don't say, hey, look, would you like to meet the commander of the 15th police district?
You got to fix the material conditions.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's been our approach. But we've also worked with CVI, our community violence intervention workers. These are men and women who have been in the spiral of our penal system, and they are transforming their lives, and they're on the blocks where these feuds exist, and they work to de-escalate. But we're also reopening mental health clinics, right, so that our people can access mental health. We've expanded the CARE program, crisis assistance response engagement. 40% of the 911 calls were mental health crises. So you have police officers showing up to be
with a gun in hand, no experience in that at all.
Nothing for those.
Exactly, right? And so when we shifted to expand the CARE program, it freed up our law enforcement to do the things that we need them to do. And then I think finally, man, you have to have real affordability in this city. Right? Because like, what good does it do to have a safe community, but can't nobody afford to live there?
Exactly.
Like, you know, I'm grateful, you know, Mom Donnie, you know, did his thing. And the average price of a home in New York is $1.1 million. You know, I was just in LA with Mayor Baz. The average price of a home in Los Angeles is $900,000. So, you know, safer communities, but no one can afford to live there. But what does it do if we can afford to live there, but we don't feel safe?
This guy is blowing smoke, like zero follow-up questions, zero pushing back on these horrible answers. I mean, I'm telling you, it just has this feeling like it's a orchestrated, heavily produced situation. Like, hey guys, we're gonna remember. He said we hired over 1,800 youth, right? I would not be surprised if those were a few of the 1,800 youth that the city of Chicago has employed. And what they're doing is they're hiring propagandists, people who have been incentivized to come down on the side of the current regime. These people are very smart. They know they're not smart, but they just know how to keep power. Ultimately, that's what it boils down to. They know how to hang on to power at all costs. They just employed a bunch of young people, and black males especially, because they know that the number one group. Hold on, fix my camera. They know that the number one group that they're having issues with, connecting with, are black men, young black men. So you know what? We can't beat them. So let's bribe them. That's how they do that. We can't beat them. So let's bribe them. And it's really pathetic. It's so disgusting what he's doing. He knows he's giving non-answers, and he knows that they can't even push back or follow up on anything he says.
And so we've been really attacking the problem where it's policing and youth employment, policing and investing in education, policing and mental health services, right? And so it's policing and affordability, right? So it's taking that full force of government approach to be able to solve decades-old problems. Context, 1974, 970 homicides. 1995, there were, I believe, 828 homicides. In 2016, I believe there were 778 homicides. 2020, there were roughly, I believe, 805. 2022, 805 homicides. You know, right now, you know, we're on pace to have one of the safest years that we've seen in.
359 homicides. Actually, now it's 361 homicides. He's on pace to still be one of the most violent cities in America under Democratic leadership. Why doesn't Brandon Johnson sit down with some taxpayers? Why doesn't bro sit down with young like men, 30 years old? Oh, wait, those are the ones showing up to the city hall telling you that you need to step down. So what he did, instead of addressing them and working with them, he just went around them. I'm going to go right past you I'm going to give the money to the youth, bribe them because they're cheaper. They're cheaper to bribe. And I'm just going to get them to be unwitting propagandists in our scheme. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And Brandon Johnson knows he's wrong for that. That was pure. All they doing. Bro, you're an interviewer. You're a journalist. Ask some tough questions. Mayor Johnson, what's up with all these resources that you're giving to the illegal immigrants? But when we were growing up in Chicago, we were constantly being told that there were no resources available. When you say the full force of government, does that mean socialism?
This is about who are you?
Is that you advocating for socialism? Do you support Zohran Mamdani? Do you support the free grocery stores and all that stuff? Because he's saying the same stuff Zohran Mamdani is saying. And when you bring in the socialism, and when you put a head tax on businesses in Chicago, if I go to start a business as a young entrepreneur, will I be subjected to that head tax? If I see the need to hire 2 or 3 employees, will I then be taxed based on the number of employees that I have? Mayor Johnson, why did McDonald's leave downtown Chicago? Why did Walmart leave Chicago? What's going on with that? And are we making space for new businesses to replace those businesses? Have we created incentives for those businesses to come back to our city, return to our city with the jobs that they were providing? See, those are questions that a grown man is going to ask. A kid, at the end of the day, ultimately, they mama responsible for them and they daddy. But a grown man is going to say, look, how am I going to raise and feed my family in this city? That's what's important. I couldn't care less about all this nonsense you talk about. How are we going to put food on the table? So here's where they get into the conversation about Zohran Mamdani.
This is about who are you going to listen to?
Yeah.
Right. Are you going to listen to working class people on the west and south side of Chicago, northwest, southeast, or are you going to be beholden to the very people who got Donald Trump elected?
The Democrats.
Hey, this is definitely some state-sponsored propaganda crap, city-sponsored. This whole setup is just way too clean. This whole setup is way too clean. If you look at all the photos and stuff, just all professionally done. I mean, if these dudes set this up, I'm proud of them for being great. You know what I'm saying? They cooking. But this has the feel of some propaganda, The View crap, All the Smoke podcast type crap. They have a setup like, they have the same setup like a bunch of millionaires have when they do a podcast. It's a little too perfect. I'm looking at the flat screen in the back and all that. This is a little too perfect. And they sit on that couch like they didn't buy it. I'm not going to lie to you. They sit on that couch like they did not buy it. Now, they could be renting out a studio. But this looks like, dude, rigged. His socks are amazing. I'm not going to lie. I love the socks. But rigged, this is not rigged. This is totally produced by the city. This is city funds. This is your taxpayer dollars working to produce a propaganda podcast. That's what I'm thinking. That's what it looks like.
Generally politically swept the country the other day or 2 days ago after election night. But one of the most intriguing races that I want.
And he reads like he's reading off a script, and he was a good student in school. And they said, okay, he's the smart one. He's going to be the host. These other ones, they one's funny, one's this, one's that. We're going to give them a nice big fat check for a minor. Probably said, let's give them all $5,000 a month. You know, that's mad money for a young man. And they come in. I mean, bro, got the newest MacBook. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Where you buy that MacBook at? Oh, they gave it to me. I'm talking about the waters and everything. Well, the waters got no labels on them. Come on, bro. I've been in many a studio. This is way too perfect.
Watch was the Zohran Mamdani race in New York City for mayor. He won as a Democratic socialist by focusing on affordability, by focusing on taxing the super wealthy to achieve that affordability. You run the third biggest city in the country. I've seen people already hit you with the questions of, are the billionaires going to leave? Which, that's a funny question. I'd be more worried about normal people leaving Chicago. But
yeah, this is the fake last was crazy. The fake last was, come on, man. They got to do a better job. The fake laughs were so ridiculous. He looked at him like, this is where we laugh, guys. And then they all laughed. What I'm listening for in this part of the interview, and guys, don't forget, we want to get to our other topic. Let's get those super chats and donations in. We made a compromise, right? 2 more and we're good? Okay, just so you know. But listen, what I'm listening for, I don't listen for the opinion of the politician who has rehearsed the answers to these questions. I'm listening for the opinion of the host, because the hosts, there's 4 people in there. One person's asking the question, and the other 3 are barely saying anything. Why you need 4 people if only 2 people talking? I don't know. They looking like furniture up in there. I'm looking to hear everyone's opinion on this topic. Zohran Mamdani, taxing the rich people leaving, why the rich people didn't leave Chicago, which a lot of the rich people didn't leave Chicago because those taxes that Brandon Johnson tried to impose, the city council, well, one, he doesn't have power to implement them.
What do you say to people who are confused about the future of where the Democratic Party should go when it comes to speaking to the needs of working class people? What do you think we should be doing, and what lessons have you taken from Zohran's win?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, like, congratulations to the mayor-elect of New York, Zohran Mamdani. You know, I believe his ability to capture the real concerns that people have, and affordability is a big deal. Like I said, over $1 million to purchase a home in New York, $4,500 for rent. I mean, that's not sustainable. And I believe that's the biggest lesson. Our economy as we know it today is not sustainable. It's just not, like, you know, the way our taxing entities work right now, it's not going where the revenue is. Our economy is becoming more digitized, as you all know. And, you know, you have these big tech companies that make money off of.
Listen, stop preaching. Here's the question. All the cities where the homes cost $1 million are in Democrat-run cities. They're Democrat-run cities. So my question is, if you can talk about, you can tell me the price of the average home in California all damn day, but understand that since like early 2000s, the entirety of California has been run by Democrats, from governor all the way down to the damn dog catcher, Democrat. So tell me how the group who caused the problem and is talking about raising taxes, which the only taxes they can raise are property taxes, right? If the group, because, you know, raising property taxes drives up the cost of homes. So the group who caused the hyperinflation of homes in their cities, the party that, in him sitting in that chair, who's literally proposing raising the property taxes of people in the city, how are they going to fix the situation that they've created? Let's talk about Lori Lightfoot. Let's talk about Rahm Emanuel. Let's talk about the long line of Democrats who have all contributed to the astronomical home prices in Chicago, Los Angeles, New York, and the list goes on and on and on. See, they always talk about the problem, but they never talk about who caused the problem. They're never talking about whose policies created the problem and how they're going to fix the problem with the same damn policies.
Advertisement and selling our data. Like, we're talking about incredible breaches when it comes to just the theory of the case around Big Brother. right? Where
That was such a horrible pivot. How did you go from affordability to talking about data breaches? How did you go from affordability to talk about Big Brother like this is an episode of 1984? Guys, I'm telling you, the Democrats have nothing. If they win any elections, it's not because they convinced you. It's because you wanted them to be right. It's because you wanted them to be right. Because nothing they say is convincing. Nothing. Yeah, I wear dress socks if I wear a suit. But if not, I'm wearing some regular tube socks. But nothing else. Guys, what has he said about the issues, the problems, and what solutions has he presented? He said he gave 1,800 kids jobs. 359 people still died in Chicago this year. That's one city. And I don't believe that, and I believe they're underreporting.
Our big sister, constantly infiltrating our information and using that to profit. Yeah. I mean, you all have experiences. This is not a conspiracy.
Yeah.
You'll say something
They
about
kill your ass before you download it.
something about, going skiing one day and you go to your phone, all of a sudden you see goggles and snowboards.
Literally.
Right?
I remember it struck me the other day because I opened up like Uber or like Uber Eats or something. And I got like a notification that said like, oh, support your friendly app company and vote no on this like proposal or some like thing that was going in. And I'm like, if you really think about it, right? Whenever you hear about any slight like attempt to try to like reallocate the wealth to like kind of stop the upward transfer of wealth, you'll see people say, oh, we're going to pass the price on to the consumers or whatever, as opposed, even though they have the money, right? They have a lot of the money. And I remember I seen the notification. I'm like, I know Uber make a lot of money. Why are you trying to influence me to go vote to support you more?
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
No, and I think that's what, Mom Donnie was able to like really drill down on. And, again, we are going through that experience right now as governing through what he campaigned on, right? And I think it's an incredible opportunity for the party as a whole to embrace the full package of what the Democratic Party can bring to the table. And it's unfortunate, though, because, you have some individuals who are part of the party that, quite frankly, they reflect the ideology that's coming from the right. And so they're trying to desperately hold on to power at a time in which the country.
Everybody's the enemy. Everybody's the enemy. The Republicans are the enemy. Our fellow Democrat Party members are the enemy. Everybody's the enemy. You know when someone starts blaming everybody for their failure, right? Because if the Democrat Party is so bad, if such a failure, and if they're your enemy, why did you join the Democrat Party? Just make another party, right? But this is them. They're already front-loading you. They're already preparing you for failure, and their excuse for failure is going to be, oh, man, people within our own party sabotaged us. I'm telling you right now, Look, I got some people in here. I want a 1 in the comments. If you want me to tell you what the Democrat agenda is for the next 20 years, I'll tell you right now. Put a 1 in the comments for me. If you want me to tell you what the Democrat agenda is for the next 20 years, I will tell you. We need 3 more. We need 3 more. We need 3 more ones. I'm going to tell you what their agenda is and what they're really fighting over within the party. I will tell you right now, oh, we need 2 more. I will tell you, oh, we need 1 more. We're there. Okay, we got, no, Mo, you tried to double up. I saw you. Oh, no, we got them. We got the ones. All right, listen. What the Democrat Party, I'm going to go here. What the Democrat Party is really fighting over is nothing but donor money. That's it. They don't care if they win elections. They don't care about really having power because they don't have real ideas. What the younger generation within the Democrat Party is doing is they are trying to retire the older generation within the Democrat Party so they become the overseers of the multi-billion-dollar donation pool. That's it. That's all this is about. And so what they're doing is they're fighting to be like AOC and Chuck Schumer, right? They're beefing. AOC and Chuck Schumer are fighting over who's going to be able to say, hey, we wanted to do this, but we couldn't do it because the Republicans stopped us. That's it. They're fighting over who's going to be the bearer of bad news to their loyal followers and constituents. That's it. Because the person who's the bearer of bad news, 9 times out of 10, is the one who brings in the most donor money. And that's the one, the minority leader, that's the one who the big corporations come to with the millions and millions of dollars and say, hey, man, I want to give you $50 million, but I need you to vote no on this and that. These are the people the lobbyists go to. They go to the leaders, Hakeem Jeffries in the House and Chuck Schumer in the Senate. And AOC, people like AOC, and the people who are looking to challenge Hakeem Jeffries, what they know is that those guys make the most money. So they are trying to do a hostile takeover to push out the old guard so they can take their place as the people who bear the bad news. The radical leftists know that majority of their policies are not going to get passed. They know that. But what they're doing is they're trying to put themselves in position to where they can hold the government hostage whenever they want to so that they can line their pockets. Because if you really want to know, let me tell you something. I'm going to share something with you. What really opens up the government from shutdown and everything else is corporate money. If the shutdown is hurting companies that have government contracts, those companies will go to the congressmen and to the senators and the representatives, and they'll say, look, how much money do I need to give you for you to vote in favor of this so that the government can open? That's what this is all about. You want to know why eight Democrats, Ryan, you want to know why 8 Democrats separated with the Democrat Party to open up the government? Do you want to know why 8 Democrats split with their party and voted with the Republicans so that the government can reopen? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, you don't care. Well, I'm going to tell you anyway. Look, because 8 Democrats got paid to split with their party and vote with the Republicans. That's what happened. They paid 8 Democrats to say, you know what? We going to break with the party. No, they didn't come to their senses because most of them are retiring in the next term. They're done. They got paid. Y'all want the truth. Y'all don't want to watch me when I'm holding the party line, right? I'm giving y'all straight facts. 8 Democrats got paid to split with the Democrat Party to open up the government because there were companies that have government contracts that were losing billions and millions and billions of dollars because the government was not paying. That's it. Hey, look, we put together some dough. We gonna give all y'all $300,000. We gonna give all y'all $400,000. All y'all got to do is vote to open up the government. And boom, government was open. Those Democrats were literally holding out for a payday. That's it. They were holding out for a payday. And I promise you, Chuck Schumer got a big fat check. And he went and he picked who was going to split with the party. He looked at which senators the Democrat Party could split with the Democrat Party and vote, and their political future would not be jeopardized. And it just so happened, you use your common sense. See, because I say a lot of stuff on this channel, but it'd be a lot more stuff going on in my head. The majority of the people who split with the party, right? They're retiring next election. They're not going to run. They're not going to run. So they didn't have to worry about their political future. They all got a retirement level payday to pretend to split with the party, to open back up the government so all the rest of the Democrats could save face. That's it. If I'm lying, I'm flying. And it's so dang on obvious that that's what happened. It's obvious that that's what happened. But see, people ain't understanding. These politicians are playing 3D chess. They're not playing. They're not playing tiddlywinks anymore. Everything they do, they gonna get paid. Everything they do gonna be about some money. They Nipsey Hussle. They all money in. You want them to move their pinky, they getting paid. Why incentivize when you can monetize? They good now. Most of them are retiring. So they get to go down. Their party is going to hate them, obviously. But they get to say, well, I did what was best for the American people, as they count your money. Count your money up. That's it. They work for, yep, you're right. They work for us, and they work for everybody else, whoever else want to give them a paycheck. I'm sorry. I hate to bust y'all bubble. All right, guys. Are we still watching this propaganda piece? I think we can move past this. I'm a softie, dude. We didn't reach the contribution goal, but I still want to talk about this Tish Hyman lady, the one who confronted the transgender in the Gold's Gym. And it was a man, and he was up in the ladies' room. She said with his thing swinging. She said he had his thing out. And when she confronted him, he said, I have a right to be here. It's funny, that word rights. A lot of people don't realize going to Gold's Gym or going to any business is not a right. It's a privilege. That's why businesses have a sign in their business that say, we reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. Because you don't have a right to go to that business. It's your privilege to go in that business and be able to shop for the things you need. So you don't have to go to a damn open air market in Calcutta to get something. Okay? They're bringing it to you, making it convenient. So she got to go talk to a United States senator. And what I want to do is I want to get away from this, and I want to see if they have, because I saw this on Instagram, but I want to see if they have it on YouTube, because Instagram be tripping. Oh, yeah. Okay. So baby is up. She's up on her game because she got it on her page. Shout out to Tish Hyman. Y'all go check her out. She's a singer. She's an artist. She's an artist. Am I popping up or what? Hold on. Y'all need to get these donations going in because I need to get a new camera. This old Canon, it goes off after every 30 minutes. Stop judging me. A good friend of mine let me use this thing. And it is I know it cuts off every 30 minutes because it's an old Canon. I'm gonna give me a new Canon though. I actually like these cameras a lot. I never bought a camera before. So we got Tish Hyman in the building. So this lady, let me maybe I should just give y'all a refresher of what happened. And y'all could let y'all know. So she's in the women's locker room at a Gold's Gym, which apparently has turned into EOS Fitness now. And there was a man. Okay, he said he was trans. This only thing trans about this dude, he had on some earrings. That's literally it. And she was naked. And she said when she walked out of the shower, bro was in the thing, like with his weenie out. And so she asked bro, mind you, she's in California. She's a native of New York. She asked bro if he minded just getting out because she felt uncomfortable with him being here. And bro in there. And bro said he had a right to be up in there, and she just melted down. Now, one thing I'll say about Tish Hyman is this. She's a part of Hollywood. She's a part of the Hollywood swamp, right? So we know you've tolerated this stuff in the past so you could get ahead. But eventually, when you do things that offend your sense of morality, eventually it tears away at your spirit, and you get to the breaking point where you just can't take it anymore. And I think that's where Tish Hyman was. She's like, I'm a woman. I am naked. And she might have been feeling insecure at the moment. And I don't want some white guy or man, period, standing in the locker room watching me, right? Like, women have that about themselves. Sometimes they just feel vulnerable for no reason. You know, she might be a freak one day on Tuesday, but on Saturday, she's just feeling like she needs to be held. You know, and that's just the way women are. So I get it, right? But this is the interaction.
There are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay.
A popular singer-songwriter claims she was booted from a Gold's Gym in Los Angeles after getting into a heated, caught-on-camera confrontation with a transgender woman she had filed complaints against for using the women's locker room.
Now, y'all, this ain't no damn woman. He don't got a wig on or nothing, Jesus. He got some earrings on, and that makes him a woman. So being a woman is just wearing earrings at this point. Ain't that about nothing?
Locker room. The controversy exploded when Tish Hyman posted a video of a brief shouting match with the transgender gym goer, who was dressed in all black and accessorized with a pair of dangling earrings.
No, now he knows how to be a man, right? Now he knows how to be a man. Stay out of the women's locker room. He needs to have his gym membership revoked for that. And the woman told you. He assaulted me. The girl told already. We already filed reports. You can't get rid of me for this. I'm a woman and I have every right to not want a man in the restroom when I'm naked. There are girls naked in there. Look at them walking in there like it's okay. It's not okay.
In her Instagram post, Hyman alleged to her 250,000 followers that she and other women at the gym filed, quote, written reports on this man for coming into our women's locker room, harassing us. Hyman was escorted to the front of the gym moments later, where she claims that her membership was revoked. In a video filmed by a passerby, Hyman could be seen reaming out the gym staff shortly before she was booted from the facility.
Men, grown men with big dicks in the women's locker room. And that's why I'm getting kicked out. And I want to make sure the girls know. Everybody saw that man in the locker room. No one's saying shit. Me naked in front of a man without my permission. But I'm the one who gets kicked out the gym, y'all.
The viral interaction wasn't the first between the pair. Hyman had previously filmed a separate confrontation with the same person in the locker room. In Hyman's post, which had the audio removed, she wrote that she had confronted other trans women in the gym's locker room on 4 separate occasions, but was met each time with, quote, anger, disrespect, and total disregard. She also wrote that there was a young woman present in the bathroom at the time of the interaction, who she claims froze up, quote, completely traumatized, and later thanked her for being there with her. The transgender woman at the center of all the drama has since been identified by TMZ as Alexis Black, who broke her silence about the viral confrontation to the outlet. In an interview with TMZ Live on Tuesday, Black insisted she is entitled to use the female facilities and wouldn't be comfortable in a trans-only locker room. You're not going to put a trans woman with a trans man just because we're trans, she said.
Bruh, this is a whole man, bro. This is a whole man. And then he said to her, you know, wimp chicks, they like D. He was antagonizing her.
That seems like a whole new envelope of discrimination. Black told the outlet that she is currently in the lengthy process of transitioning and still has male genitalia. However, she claimed that she is registered as a female on her driver's license, changed her name, and has been taking hormones since February, which she says she expressed to Hyman. She also went on to assert that she was registered as a female with the gym. She says the gym is assessing her own membership as a result of the controversy. Initially, they said we were in the...
Okay, but here's the thing. You walking around with your thing out. You walking around with your thing out. You're not even trying to hide the fact that you're a man. This chick, this dude is rage baiting people. He likes to get off on the fact that he's a man, but he gets to be around all the naked chicks. But this is what Democrats do. And they're trying to run the country. And a lot of y'all are trying to let them. I mean, you are trying to allow them to do it. Why are you doing that? Why you out here voting for the Democrats to let the guys in the women's locker room? I don't trust it. I don't trust it, fam.
The same boat. They phoned me and I'm not sure if it's written in red ink or what, but it's definitely being evaluated, she said. The Los Angeles Gold's Gym, which was recently acquired by EOS Fitness, has yet to address the controversy. The viral spat isn't the first of its kind.
Nah. So Gold's Gym did address the controversy. Gold's Gym in LA, in Los Angeles County, and this whole Southern California has been bought out by EOS Fitness. Okay? So it ain't even Gold's Gym no more. The name is about to change. Gold's Gym basically came out and was like, that would have never happened under us. Stop. We just haven't took the signs off of the buildings yet. But that is EOS Fitness. So, I mean, I feel Gold's Gym. So when she try to sue, she ain't going to be suing Gold's Gym. She going to be suing EOS Fitness. But she needs to take this to a federal lawsuit because this is one of those cases that could change the whole trajectory of this transgender nonsense. I'm just calling it what it is. It could change the whole trajectory of the transgender garbage. Because here's the thing, that's a man in the locker room with females. If transgenders would like a locker room of their own, make a transgender woman's locker room and make a transgender man's locker room, or just make a transgender locker room. Bro, it ain't that many transgenders in the gym at once. You could give them their own private solo changing room, which I don't even agree to that. But if that's what you want to do because you want to retain their business, do it. But I'm telling you, the reason why it doesn't exist is because there's not enough transgenders, even in a place like California, to make that to incentivize doing that. What you gonna do? Build a transgender locker room for like 2 or 3 people who go to your gym? That's a waste of money. They little $19.99 a month ain't covering all that, because that's how much it costs to go to Gold's Gym out here, $19.99 a month. But so all that transpired with Tish Hyman, and our girl actually got a chance to sit down in front of a California senator, and she brought it up. And what's funny is I believe Tish Hyman is a lesbian. So you have a lesbian, someone who's a member of the LGBTQ, who is actually on the front line of the fight to keep transgender people out of women's locker rooms. And ain't that the way it always go? They say, oh, it's the heteros, the cis, and all this crap. They don't like us. It ain't gonna be us. It's gonna be the people in your own group who get tired of living on the funny farm, and they gonna say, nah, this gotta end, because when they started this stuff, these men going up in these women's facilities, they crossed the line. They were with you when you were only making straight people uncomfortable. Cisgender, right? That's what they call it, cisgender. When you was making cisgender people uncomfortable, they was with you. But now when you making them uncomfortable, now they got to cut you. Now they got to cut you. So you got a little LGBTQ civil war going on here, and I'm here for it.
Senator Winner, as the only black lesbian here, can I please ask you a question, because I flew here to do that? Yeah. Okay. As a lesbian woman,
as the only black lesbian, see, that's the problem. When you start leading with your sexuality, you know the lights are on, but nobody's home. As the only black lesbian woman here, see, it's too much distinguishing. As the only black woman here, or as well, yeah, that would be the only difference, because there's white women. As the only black woman here, this is my problem. Because in the moment that you don't want that guy to see your little pocketbook, as women used to call it, when you didn't want bro laying eyes on the yoni, you were just a woman. You being lesbian had nothing to do with it, because she looked like a stud. And so I was like, well, why is she so mad? But hey, you're just a female. That's what made you uncomfortable. Just your gender, just your sex, had nothing to do about your sexual preference. And that's the problem. They always try, like my nephew is gay. And I always tell bro, the problem with you is you're always trying to lead with your sexuality like that's going to give you, like that's some type of secret membership card that only you got. No one cares who you're sleeping with, bro. We care that you a nigga with a dress on. But he don't be having a dress on. I'm making that up. But you're wearing makeup and stuff. And I couldn't care less if you're wearing makeup or not. But the problem is you're trying to put on makeup in my damn bathroom, and I'm trying to go in there because I got to pee right now. Get out. This is what a lot of like LGBTQ people don't understand. No one cares who you're sleeping with. We just care that your attitude stinks right now. And you're trying to make us addressing your attitude about who you're sleeping with. And I live in California, so I deal with that crap all the time.
Who was attacked in the women's locker room at Gold's Gym this week by a self-identifying trans woman with a documented history of domestic violence. I'm deeply concerned about women's safety in female-only spaces. What would you say to women who are seeking assurance that their safety will be protected from men who, by California law, can self-ID as women in women-only spaces, sir? Please tell.
Nah, I mean, she's lying too. He didn't attack her. You don't gotta be all extra. I was attacked. He didn't attack you. He was in there. You didn't want him in there. That should be enough. Your privacy, women's rights, all this stuff. But at the same time, Tish, you are a part of the problem. Because you Hollywood swamp types, y'all will be right up in there. Trans rights, LGBTQ, IA+, elemental P. They built this up. And now it's hurting them. And now they want somebody to do something about it. If I was, hey, this dude got some nice socks too, though. I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna cap. But look, I'm telling you, they don't like it. They don't like what they've created. Now they want a do-over. Now they want to hit the reset button, and it's too late. See, they want to customize society to fit their whims at the moment. But that's not the way society works. You didn't create it. Now you got to live with it till somebody tear it down. And when they tear it down, it ain't coming back. She's trying to throw the waterworks on, and she's an actor, so she can act. You know, like Jamie Foxx used to say. But no, Tish, you right there with him, so I struggle to feel sorry for you. You a stud, man up.
Yeah, so we want, everyone to be safe. And we also know that, we have trans people, both men and women, who are men and women. And so, so if you're trans women are women.
Senator, you've done great things with the bills you've passed with the housing. I've read a lot of your bills, and like you said, there are bills that need to be opened up, and I'm telling you now, millions of...
Do y'all mind if I go back and listen to his answer again? Because it didn't make no damn sense to me. Maybe I missed something. Bro was like, we got trans men and women that are men and women. That's all he said. But this is California. These people are not there because they're uniquely qualified. They're there because they're the wokest. They're the wokest, and they can do bologna word salad and do... I'm telling you, you think Kamala Harris was bad. These politicians in California, they're all like this. Why do you think Gavin Newsom is the governor? He's the only one who could actually communicate a coherent thought. It won't make no damn sense. It won't be a good thought, but at least he can articulate a sentence. He can communicate. The rest of these dudes, they're slow, bro. They're delayed. Listen to what this dude said, bro. I want you to listen to what this guy's saying. It's straight gobbledygook.
And we also...
Sir, please tell me.
Yeah. So we want, everyone to be safe. And we also know that, we have trans people, both men and women, who are men and women.
We want everyone to be safe. And we also know that we have trans people, who, both men and women, that are men and women. We want everybody to be safe. And we also know that we have trans people, both men and women, that are men and women. Listen to me. Listen to me. We want everyone to be safe. But we also know we have trans women, trans people, both men and women, that are both men and women. That was deep. This guy's up there sounding like Confucius.
And so, so if you're trans women are women.
Senator, you've done great things with the bills you've passed with the housing. I've read a lot of your bills, and like
he said, he told her straight up. Did y'all catch that? He said trans women are women. He basically told her, we're not doing crap for you. He said, screw women. Trans women are women. Listen to what he said.
You know, so if you're trans women are women.
Senator, you've done great things with the bills you've passed with the housing. I've read a lot of your.
He said that comfortably. Trans women are women. And look at these gray-headed old folks up in here. Not a single person reacted to that. I'm telling you, this is California. This is California. They know they don't agree with that stuff he just said. But look who she's surrounded by. Look who she's surrounded by who did not even, when he said, oh, well, trans women are women. They sat there so calm. Old daddy pervert probably likes to get trans off of escort sites. All these white females, they hate their husbands, so it don't matter. They don't care about men either way. Or women. They don't go to no damn gym. Listen to what he said. Wild Funk, you just got to go out and then select the other view. There's another view, dude. You can go out of the video in the YouTube channel and you'll see two versions of the same video. Just click on the other version of the video and it'll bring you in with the horizontal view. I ain't going to run this view anymore because clearly y'all don't like it. But yeah, that he gave her his answer. Trans women are women. Suck it up. Suck it up. Nothing you can do about it. Move out of California. That's wild to me.
Bills, and like you said, there are bills that need to be opened up, and I'm telling you now, millions of women across America are being harassed and sexually assaulted in locker rooms. I'm a lesbian black woman. I'm not transphobic. I'm not homophobic. And I do respect a lot of the things you've done. But I do see a lot of these bills that you've passed that are dangerous for women and young children. And I understand that you're trying to be on a level playing field. And I'm here to represent my community because I hear a lot of things about my community in these bills. And I'm telling you as a woman, first and foremost, that this is dangerous and we need your help because you're in the office, you're gonna go in the Polisky spot. I wanna support you. I have millions of people behind me watching this right now and we wanna know, are you going to protect women? Not trans women, women. Trans women are different things. Women. Listen, we need to protect women's safety. I was assaulted. No, they are not. They are men. I was assaulted by men.
Look at these old women and this a man in the middle behind her. Do you see now? Soon as she said trans women are men, everybody has something to say. So it's not like they're not vocal. It's not like they're just sitting there respectfully quiet so that they can, hear what's being said. They believe this shit. They believe this stuff. And they're at these city council meetings. They're at these election town halls and they are out voting. They're literally showing the people running for these offices, look, we're here. And you better side with us. He knew the room he was in. He knew the room he was in. That's why he said trans women are women. He's not going to play. He's not going to risk his political future for you. She's in a hostile environment. I see a man dressed like a woman sitting right behind her in that black shirt. Sitting up in there looking like the colonel with a weave. Bro looked like the dude off of Kentucky Fried Chicken. I swear to God. And then who is his ally? The old decrepit white hag with the with the prune-shaped uterus. That's what this is the coalition. Young liberal radicalized white woman, trans man in the middle. That's probably her husband. And then next to him is this old decrepit hag who's literally just going along with this because she got nothing better to do. This is the army. This is the army right here. Saying that they're at war right now. Couldn't make it around the block, but they're at war right now. She is outnumbered and outgunned. She thought she was going to find somebody. She turning around to argue with the audience.
He broke his mic.
Girl, they don't care about you. Why are you standing up, you hostile bed wench? Sit down somewhere because you should have never went up there. You played along with it. Now you got to deal with it. I'm sorry, I gotta be careful. I think I made the lesbian upstairs mad because she moving around bumping shit. She slapping doors and shit. He's such a fucking he's such a homophobe. Did you hear something going? Did you hear something bumping around up there? I heard it. Come on, man. I heard it. She got mad. She started stomping. Shut up, you bigot. Oh, God. It's just funny.
Jaw so bad she need a reconstructive surgery. I'm a lesbian. I'm not transphobic and I'm black. So if there's another black woman in here who wants to tell me how they feel, please join in. But all of you are not. And I don't know who you are, what you are, but I'm a lesbian, and I'm telling you right now, men are harassing women in the locker room.
Let's let him answer the question.
I'm just telling you, since y'all want to woo.
No, just let's.
Now I'm done.
They don't care about you. They got your vote, dummy. You gonna vote Democrat no matter what they do. She should have said Trump 2028 and walked out. That would have got him right there. You're gonna have to turn on these people because these people are not your allies. These are our allies. They're only with you because you can serve them in some way. And the minute something they do hurts you, oh well. Oh well. Too bad. So sad. Cry. Go tell your mama. That's what they're gonna tell you. Too bad. So sad. They turned on her. Only reason they're being quiet is because the senator's boyfriend is like, yo, we trying to let him answer the question. Bro's probably gay, which I'm not. I don't care either way, but just understand, black woman, if there are black women in here, I don't know if there's a lot, right? She does look like a man herself, but I don't know if there's a lot of black women in here, but this is where you are right now. This is what the coalition looks like. You standing up because you've been hurt and wronged, and them looking at you like you're crazy because they don't give a damn about you. You were useful for what you were useful for. You were useful. Why did I have like a retard list? I was like, what's going on with me? Did I just become gay right now? Y'all didn't hear that, all right? But yeah, they used you. They used you. And we've been telling you that they're just using you. But you don't want to believe it because men hate you. At least black men would actually care to address what you said. Listen to me. Listen to me. As much as women say black men don't care about them and love them, I've never been in a room full of black men where a black woman stood up and addressed something she had a concern with, and the response of the black men were like, just sit your ass down and shut up. I've never seen that. I've never seen that. But black women, too many black women, have adopted this mindset like this is their new tribe and this is where they can find acceptance. They don't accept you. They don't know you. They don't care about you. I mean, I don't give a damn about you either, but I know they don't give a damn about you. At least I would have freaking said, damn, I would have gave you a church. I would have gave you something. I would have gave you some acknowledgement in a musical form like black people do at church, just so you didn't feel alone, right? I would have screamed out, take your time, something. I didn't have to agree with you, but you really needed like some ad-libs or can I get a witness? Hey, a GP, are you with me? She needed something because it was crickets. And as a black person, I know how that feels when you ain't got an ally in the room. But bruh, she stood up like, girl, what is you gonna do? Them white people would have turned your ass into a lesbian quiche. She stood up like she was ready to throw hands. Should have beat up that transgender that was in the bathroom with her.
And by the way, I respect what you have done. I just
Why are you standing up? Was that security?
I'm done.
Hey, bro was about to sneak her. You see, look, bro. She almost got. That little gay dude in the back was coming. Bro had his nunchucks.
Now I'm done. And by the way, I respect what you have done. I just want to let you know that.
Let's give the senator the opportunity.
Hey, bro was ready. Bro looked like he do jujitsu. He had his hands up like he was about to grab her ass by the back of the neck. I kid you not. But I love this for her. I'm taking this all in. I love this for you, boo. I love this for you. I feel like every black woman in America needs this wake-up call. I feel like every black transgender supporting woman in America needs this wake-up call. Because y'all looking at the black man like he your enemy. We got enough sense to not give a damn about you. But we not going to operate in opposition to you. Unless you vote Democrat now, then we're going to have to fight. But the thing is this, we're not going to hurt you. We're like doctors. We're going to do no harm. We're going to gracefully bow out of the situation without pointing out the fact that your lace front is showing. But they just literally like, it's almost like worse to not get a reaction at all. Because they just made her feel like she was nothing. Because in their eyes, that's what she is. Nothing. Nothing. Now, if somebody would have kicked the dog in there, they would have been all over his ass. How dare you, you monster. Bro, kick your dog in front. Step on your dog foot in front of these people. They'll be damn near ready to press charges on you for stepping on your dog. But when she said that she was a black woman who was assaulted, because they don't know what happened to her. We know she lying, but they don't know that. But when she said she was assaulted, nobody was like, what did he do to you? Are you okay? That's what white people and liberals, are you okay? Do you feel safe? Ain't that what they say? Are you okay? Do you feel safe? And all this shit. They didn't even ask her the liberal code words. Do you feel seen and do you feel safe? Ain't that what they say? Do you feel seen? Do you feel seen and do you feel safe? They didn't ask. My God, they didn't even ask her if she felt seen. She forgot she was a Negro. She jumped up, I'm a lesbian and I'm not homophobic. Natalie Holloway. If that had been one of our white precious angels, it would have been a different story, maybe. Maybe. But because she's as black as the underneath of the bed, they wasn't worried. They wasn't worried. Because she was as black as the side of the refrigerator at night, they wasn't concerned. I feel sorry for her. I wish I could have been there. They would have ran us out of that bitch with pitchforks if I was there, because I would have been cooking with fire. I'm not hating on black people. How did this get? I'm over here defending this precious dark chocolate angel, and now that means I hate black people. You, my friend, are not helping. But it's not even that I hate black people. It pisses me off to see black people, try to assimilate into these groups. It pisses me off to see black people try to assimilate into these groups when, guys, I've been living in California my whole life. And when I tell you that white liberals and Mexicans are the most racist people on earth, I'm telling you that white liberals and older and Hispanics and Hispanic gang members are the most racist people on earth. I'd rather live next door to the Grand Dragon of the KKK than live next to some of these white liberals, because they come in with a more sadistic mindset than the Grand Dragon. The Grand Dragon, he just don't like niggas. I don't like him. My daddy didn't like him. My granddaddy didn't like him, and I don't like him. Why you don't like? Because they stink. White liberal, he gonna try to lie and make it seem like he doing more for black people than black people are, as he calls the police on his next door neighbor who black, who been living next to him for 15 years, but he ain't never even said hi to him. Stop it. I have white neighbors, bro, who have never uttered a word to me, which is fine because I don't utter a word to them either, right? But I bet you if my ass went out there and sprained my ankle and was rolling around on the ground, they'd be like, he must have sprained his ankle jumping out of the window of somebody's house that he was breaking into. And I'm sure they'll call the cops. I kid you not. I'm talking about the type of white liberals that will let a bum sleep in the laundry room and not say nothing. But if you walk into their apartment building on a DoorDash order, they're going to call the cops because you look suspicious. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. Like they'll step over a bum, sleep in front of the front door of Starbucks 150 times. But let you say, excuse me, so you can get by. They'll act like they didn't hear you. This is real. I know how they do. These are the most passive, aggressively racist mofos on earth. And they are absolutely diabolical. And what you're seeing right here is white liberal racism. That's what this is. And you know me, I don't play the race card. But if you were in a room full of white conservatives, they would have been like, oh, hell no. Where he at? We gonna go get his ass and drag his ass up out of there. Son, I'm gonna tell you one more time, I better not catch you in this women's locker room. That's what I know. Because at least white conservatives, right is right. Oh, you end up buying that dress? I knew you would probably like that. Looks all right. Looks good. But anyway, at least white conservatives, I'm not saying you gotta love them, but there's just certain things that we all agree upon that don't need to be discussed. Men should not be in the women's locker room. That's it. But white liberals, listen, here's the problem. They know it's wrong. They know they wouldn't want their daughter in the locker room with a grown-ass man with a wiener, right? But because it's you and not them, they're going to pretend like it's okay. That's it. You know what, bro, right here, the senator going to do? He going to say you should have went to Club Studio because they don't even let transgenders up in there. That's what he going to say. You should go to a gym that actually enforces the rules. That's what he really wants to tell her. Shouldn't be broke so you can go to a better gym. Away from all that funny, duddy, silly putty crap. That's all he really would have said. Because once you get to a certain area of California and a certain level of wealth, you don't have to deal with that stuff no more. Go to, I learned that when I was going to 24-hour fitness. I was going to 24-hour super sport. I thought that was the top one. Nah, bro. They got 24-hour ultra sport. It just ain't nowhere near where anybody poor lives. They put it nice and far out so nobody poor could even drive to it. Don't no buses run over there. And when you go up in that hole, they definitely checking that membership. You beep it, they checking it again. It beep and let you in. They say, oh, can I see your phone real quick to see your membership? Hey, I just beeped it and let me in. Yes, sometimes the machine messes up. That's their way of saying, how did your black ass get in here? I didn't even know 24-hour fitness had ultra sport until I randomly ran into one. I had trained jiu-jitsu in the gym I was at, didn't have no showers. So I was rolling, 24-hour fitness in there. Oh, right here, I'm going to go shower right there. Went over there, boom, checked my membership 3 times. Thank God I got the yearly one that covered all the gyms, so they had to let me in. But they definitely checked my shit 3 times. And they not joking, they not playing. They're definitely discriminating. I also learned that at Ruth Chris. Remember that when they had the gay parade? And you don't remember that? When they had the gay parade and I called Ruth Chris and I was like, hey, I got some friends. They going to be dressed in some see-through crazy stuff. Not crazy, but some see-through for the gay parade. And they said if they come through in any attire that's leather or see-through or even remotely transparent or too tight, they won't be allowed in. I said, what happened to freedom and acceptance and all this crap? They said, yeah, we don't do that here. I'm telling you that all the homoeroticism and all that stuff, that's a class issue. Poor people have to deal with transgender nonsense. Rich people don't play that shit. They don't have to deal with that. How many transgenders do you see playing polo? You know the one where you're on the horse with the damn thing, with the stick? None. They're not even going to play that. None at all. Because all this identity disorder, mental illness, derangement stuff, this is just a characteristic of being poor in America. And if you're poor, you have to deal with it. I kid you not. Yeah, Leah Thomas was a swimmer, 100%. But she was a swimmer in college at a public college. that poor people go to. Show me the transgender swimmers at Harvard. Show me the transgender swimmers at Yale or USC. Show me the transgender swimmers at Princeton or Brown University. Leah Thomas went to a public school where broke people go, who on financial aid. Yeah, they let them do some bullshit. It ain't taking those money out of their pocket. But where there's donors and you got people donating $50 million and $100 million to build a new library and all this crap, they don't play that crap. They don't play that crap at Eastern State University. And if you play football or watch movies, you know that that's a joke. But yeah, this is an issue for poor people. Go to Pacific Palisades High School. That's a public school. Find one transgender on the team. You won't. Because where is it? The proximity is everything. If you don't have the money to elevate you past the bullshit, you will just have to live with it. That's what they're saying in California. You're right. Ruth Chris got a dress code and you better not try to violate it. You can't go in there. It's my right. So the transgender could go up in the women's locker room at the gym, but I bet you won't get in the women's restroom at Ruth Chris.
I'm done. I appreciate your point of view. I'm so sorry that you were harassed,
multiple times,
and I appreciate you talking about it. I think we need.
Now, even he admits that she was harassed. He said, I appreciate your point of view. I'm sorry you were harassed. He has to say that. He's being political, right? But at the end of the day, her problem is not going to be solved. And look how this dude is looking at the camera. He like, I can't believe we just recorded this shit.
To protect the safety of all women, and that obviously that's incredibly important. And I also know that trans women are also brutalized in this country. So women and cisgender women are brutalized in this country, and we have to protect the safety of all women.
We have to protect women. We cannot be.
So he took her problem, he took her being assaulted, quote unquote, and made it about protecting trans women. He said, I'm sorry that whatever, I'm sorry you were assaulted, Goofy, but I also know trans women get assaulted, and their life is worth more than your life, and their safety is worth more than your safety. That's what he's saying. Because now men who dress up like women have taken precedent over the women who are fighting patriarchy. Think about that. You fought patriarchy so hard that you actually created the very situation that you were fighting against. You reinforced it. Now a man dressed up like a woman got more rights than an actual woman. Congratulations, lady. You win.
Raped in the bathrooms by men that want to say they're women. They're not women. They're not women. I'm leaving. It's okay, but I'm not going to take it. I am leaving because you know what? You guys are not protecting women. You're doing a lot. The bills that you're passing for the law, I read a lot of them. They're great. But this things with the trans, it's not right.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you. And my name is.
Thank you very much, and get the hell out. That's it. They didn't even, bro, these people didn't move a muscle, bro. Not a single woman stood up with her. And it's all females up in there. It's a bunch of gay dudes and a bunch of females up in there. Not a single one of these people said, you know what, she's right. Damn, you know what, it ain't really nothing we could do about it because we're outnumbered in that sentiment. But we feel you, we understand, and you know what, I'll bring it up. And if she talked to Gavin Newsom himself, he'll say, oh, nothing we could do about it. Now, I don't think America is going to fall like Rome. I think people in America have way more access to information than people in Rome, than people had in Rome. And I think you're going to have people who stand up and say, we're going to put an end to all this crap. And I'm telling you guys, all these people who you think are so passionate about this stuff, they're not, bro. They'll go out there and protest because it's a fun thing to do on a Saturday. But just like you saw on the No King stuff, bro, they was out there at 12 and they was done at 5. This has become like a hobby now. This is like doing martial arts on the weekend. They're just doing it because it's something to do. Their heart is not really in this stuff.
Tish Hyman.
They don't care.
You heard me, sister? All right. Don't let them use our blackness and our civil rights as a reason to pass weird laws for children to transform. It's wrong. My sister's in jail. She can't get free tampons or soap, but she can get free transformation medication. Big Pharma is best. Tired of it.
Yeah, Scott.
Well, things were going so smoothly. Well, let's talk about another uncomfortable moment. When we first started talking in 2008, when Aaron Peskin challenged you for...
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. She can say all that and, no, she was a part of that. That woman works in Hollywood. One of the number one things you have to do when you work in Hollywood is you have to go along with the nonsense. You have to go along with the nonsense. But I just want you guys to see. What you saw right there was what I already knew. That's why when you see these black women talking all that yin yang, running, bumping their damn gums, I just laugh at them. I tell them like my granny used to say, it's going to tell on you before you tell on it. Just wait. Because they definitely going to get their wake-up call. And she got hers. Bet you the black man looking real good right about now. She probably got a white girlfriend at the house who was like, Tish, I ain't going with your ass over there because I already know what they going to do. Nothing. I could have told her that. She said, I flew to be here. You got on a plane and spent your money. I could have told you what they was going to say. You could have gave me that money. She's a Brooklyn native. I live in California my whole life. I know what they were going to say. If she would have went to like Orange County or something, yeah, but nah. She went to talk to the wrong senator. That's what really happened. And let me tell you this. California with the Prop 50 just gave more power to those very people who you just saw in that room. People who co-sign nonsense, play along with goofy crap, and guess what? They're going to take this on a nationwide tour if you guys elect Gavin Newsom as president. You really going to see some crazy shit happen. Trust me. And Gavin Newsom will tell you it's wrong for men to play in women's sports. And then he'll go right along and sign a bill for men to play in women's sports. Oh, I know it's wrong, but the people who vote for me like it, so I'm gonna sign it. That's it. Somebody said Brooklyn chicks. Yeah, the Brooklyn was coming out in her. She threw a whole tantrum because she couldn't get her way. But I promise you, as a person in Hollywood, she definitely was co-signing that crap until it affected her. Yeah, a lot of women sound like that in New York with that deep-ass voice. Yeah, I dated a girl from New York before. She was from Brooklyn, too. They talk like that. Hoarse-ass voice and be always arguing and yelling all the time. Yeah, we know. I had to send that chick packing. One thing about women in New York women, from what I learned in my one dating experience with a girl from New York, they'll do a lot for you, but then they think they like own you. It's like everything they do for you is like an investment into controlling you. And me, I'm like, you're not going to control me, baby. Control you. And she didn't like that. Put her ass on the train. And I had the money for a plane ticket too. But yeah. So yeah, Tish Hyman got her. I feel bad for her. I'm going to reach out to her just to laugh at her. But beyond that, yeah, that's our show for tonight. We went 2 hours and 30 minutes. We did good, y'all. Got a lot of content. He said that's just women. Facts. I agree. Women are everything they say they don't want men to be. I don't want you to be controlling. I don't want you to tell me what to do. I want to be able to do that. And if you try to do the shit they want to do, they pissed off. They say, oh, if you're the breadwinner, you provide for me. I don't want you controlling me and giving me ultimatums. Soon as a woman is the breadwinner, first thing you get is an ultimatum. Either do this or else. I've just noticed that in my upbringing. But not all women. But this is let's be real. This is kind of sad, though. I'm not going to lie. But it's really sad to see how powerless women have become in America. And it's their own fault. It's their own fault. We tried to warn them. We tried to stop them. We told them those are not your friends. Those are not your friends. But guess what? They didn't want to listen to us. They didn't want to listen to us. They know better than we do. They got all the degrees. They the most educated group in America, according to them. But yeah, it don't matter. Because when the rubber meets the road, ain't nobody going to give a damn about you like we do, period. Them people, I have never seen a room of people act that callous towards anyone who said that they've been hurt. She said that she was assaulted and they didn't even flinch. They didn't even say, oh, you poor thing. Because they don't care. Them old ass white women like, girl, I'm about to die soon. I'm trying to get these Democrats in office. It's like ATL, a lot of, hey, members, if y'all drop a comment, just tell me you want it addressed and I got y'all. Guys, you can also become a member. Become a member. Do you remember? It's like ATL. A lot of black people join these cliques as a matter of sustainability. I've spoken to young black teens over there that will play gay or trans because the scene is fiscally lucrative. I believe it. I know a lot of like women, especially who play gay just because studs and stuff be paying. I knew a girl who was straight as an arrow. She used to go to a gay bar because she got free drinks all night and food. Studs, hoping that they get a chance to sniff it. They was buying her drinks. And I said, guys do that. She said, nah, but studs, she was like, studs are how guys used to be. Guys now, they like, hell, dog. I pre-gamed it. I got this drink just for theatrical purposes. That's it. I didn't remove any comments, but I turned this thing off where they filter the comments, so no comments should get removed. That whole SJW squad was like, didn't we give you empowerment? Then you should be empowered enough to accept having a dude with his weenie out in the field. 100%. I swear, hey, you bring up a good point. Wild Funk they was definitely looking at her like, why are you complaining? This is what we fought for. They were literally giving her that look. Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. Got me singing Eric Bellinger. Ali, my brother from another mother, watching all the way from from Malindi, Kenya. Good to see you, bro. Nah, because I made a comment about Brooklyn chicks walking around smelling like gunpowder. One of the moderators probably removed that. I ain't going to lie to you. I ain't even going to hold you. But listen, thank y'all for watching this. I mean, thank you for watching this. I appreciate everything that you do for this channel. Until the next time, do me a favor. Take care of yourself. But most importantly, take care of each other.